have an amazing group of people. It is eclectic, it is young, it is entrepreneurial, it is visionary, and it is all things KPFT. First, I'd like to thank our listeners, those who have stood with us through Pledge Drive number 1, 2, and 3, as we really do our best to keep KPFT alive and well and strong. We could not do this without you. We are excited by the students who are in the studio, who are with us, working with us, helping us get this together. And as we build, we are building with some amazing people who have become new listeners at KPFT. We wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for your donations. And with that, we're going to get right into it. KPFT has been around with the support of community. It is a voice for unique and eclectic experiences. You think you have some things under wraps, and you come in, and Houston is just that amazing that you turn the right corner on the wrong day, you find a new space, a new place, a new voice, new things that are happening, not just for Super Bowl or not just for events, but places we should go. And in the studio and right next to me, we have a wonderful story and a thank you that goes to Buddy of Maine Lee Sandwiches. It's spelled Maine, like Maine, and Lee, L-Y, that has donated to KPFT during Pledge Drive. And really, by luck and coincidence, you weren't necessarily aware of KPFT before Pledge Drive. So if you can introduce yourself, describe Maine Lee Sandwiches, and exactly how you became a fan and a supporter of KPFT in a very short window. This is a very recent phone call you received from Pledge Drive, correct?
Absolutely, Stephanie. I thank you for having me here. Once again, my name is Buddy from Maine Lee Sandwiches, and I received a phone call just a few weeks ago and asked to support with some sandwiches for some volunteers that were doing a fund drive. And I said, sure, where? And it was at a radio station. They said, by the way, when you deliver the sandwiches, we'll get your sandwich shop on the air as well. And
Indeed.
I said, okay, double good.
That's wonderful. And it's nice that you even took the opportunity to respond. It's a lot. I'm sure you get asked to support a lot of things a lot of times. And people forget you do have overhead and expenses, and all that stuff adds up. What was it since you become in relationship with KPFT? You said that you've become a listener.
Right. I brought my young son to help me deliver because he's out for school this summer. And he and I came into the radio station and met some people and delivered some sandwiches and left and put it on the station. And we've been listening to the station in the vehicle ever since we dropped our sandwiches off, because it's such a wide variety of programming. We did not know about this radio station until we made the donation.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. That's awesome.
It's been fascinating. He's 12 years old. He's about to be in 8th grade. He loves politics. He loves the world and all things Houston.
Yes.
He's the only one of my children born in Texas.
Okay.
And he's just a well-rounded student as it is, and so he really enjoyed the experience and the ongoing experience of listening to KPFT.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, I think that's the thing that keeps us going, because as you can sort of see in the studio, and those who listen to this show in particular, that is student-focused and student-driven. That's the future of KPFT. That's the future of all of our businesses as entrepreneurs, is really getting our kids involved on the issues so that they can have real discussions and real insights and really sort of bring us along. So you are located on South Shepherd, but you also have a food truck. Could you give everyone the address and where they can find out more about you? Because we really need to bring you on more than once and several times, and really letting people know about your menu and all of those things. But if you can give us some insight what they can expect. There's something about Maine that is in your sandwich.
You know, I'm asked in the restaurant about 100 times a week, what are you doing here? You're from Maine? Yes, I'm from Maine. My wife's from Louisiana. We met in Germany, of course.
That's a natural fit.
In the military. We settled in Louisiana, became school teachers using our GI Bills, came over to Texas for a better teaching job.
Yeah.
And every summer we're in Maine enjoying the food 2 weeks out of the year, missing it 50 weeks a year. We're just wondering, since this is such a diverse city, how many people have been to New England and would enjoy it also.
Yeah.
Took a big risk.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, cashing in my retirement, opening mainly sandwiches. And so far so good that Houston, the city, Montrose area has been so receptive.
So now what's the address? You're located
3310 South Shepherd, right in between West Alabama and Richmond.
Okay.
We have a food truck as well. For the demand of the food truck was for private parties and things, and somebody asked us to put it in the Heights permanently, and we said, wow, that'd be great.
That is great.
Logistically, and the Heights is a growing community, and it's been receptive so far.
Oh, that's wonderful. What's your main dish?
Lobster rolls.
Very nice.
New England clam chowder, lobster bisque.
I had one of my checklists was to have Boston clam chowder in Boston, right? There's some things that you kind of have to do, and it's nice to have some things local from the New England area in Houston. So we'll have.
But it's not just seafood. Just to mention, hamburgers, Nathan's hot dogs, a wide variety of deli sandwiches. Okay,
that's excellent. So you were at 3310 South Shepherd. I think all of our listeners, Buddy is an example of what we hope for at KPFT, listeners who become fans and fans who become supporters, and generations and family and community. It's really talking about what we can do and what we can do better. So we are going to make a point to continue to support. We hope you come back in and we can do some drops on the other network about some of the other things that you're doing and really keeping your voice a part of KPFT.
All right.
And we're glad to have you here.
I appreciate KPFT and your time.
Thank you so very much. And we also have in the studio with us, as we're going to rotate through because we are just so quick, we have some students here. We have Khalil. Khalil, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. So we're talking about life being unique and complicated. We've just heard Buddy who's taken some complicated risks to create himself as an entrepreneur, and they've paid off. But you never quite know. You are a student who is going into your junior year in high school. So there's probably some things that are super complicated. What is it that you have in store for yourself? What do you think is on the horizon as you see entrepreneurship? You come from entrepreneurship. What were some things that you're thinking of that even as our listeners who are here would like to know from your point of view?
All right. So I haven't gotten myself situated all the way, but I do want to become a chef. And I am studying to become a chef. I had someone come over to my house a few months ago to teach me how to cook and stuff like that, and she did. And I told her I wanted to go to Culinary Institute of America, and she was like, "Oh, that's the same college I went to," and yeah.
Well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put you both on the spot, right? Yes, Buddy. You can always, I've made you from like a listener to like a part of a little baby conspiracy here. I would love for us to sort of continue this discussion of culinary arts. And maybe you both can get together. We'll set up a time where you can sort of see the behind the scenes of maybe 15 minutes when you're light of how culinary, because there's multiple things when you try and teach students. There's the art, there's the craft, and there's the business. And those things always don't add up in theory if you're going in from one point of view. And I think that'd be an interesting full show dedicated to what you do, how you do, for our listeners to understand and support you in return. And then from students who are always looking to be a part, maybe that will bring sort of more students through and sort of allowing, good dialogue, good conversation, good storytelling, and continued discussion through that KPFT voice. So we'll work it out. We don't know how it all comes together, but we welcome you to come on as often as possible.
Well, I think that's a great idea, Stephanie, because as I told you, I was a school teacher 20 years, both my wife and I, and now we have a bunch of employees.
Yes.
And you're always teaching.
Yes.
And you never stop learning in life.
Yes.
And I'm very, very thorough in the sandwich shop when it comes to health regulations.
Yes.
The way to make a sandwich.
Yes.
The proper procedures for things. And I try to introduce business aspects to some of my employees, but they're not all that interested.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to have somebody that is interested in all facets.
Oh, that would be excellent. So we'll make an experience about it. What you thought it was going to be, what it actually is, and then really sort of exploring that as a continued growth. I think it's great for the listeners, it's great for the things that we always wonder, like what's all that clanking back there? Because you don't really see. But it is important for students to understand the big picture.
It's incredibly important because there's a lot of classes that they teach in school all the way through college, but they don't teach simple business principles for the most part.
They really
How do
don't.
you open a business? What's involved? What do you have to do
Yeah.
step by step?
Yeah, that's a very. I mean, I'm an art major, and I've gone through it since high school, and I'm like, wow, no business class. I'm in school 8 years of my life, and I've never had an art class. I have never had a business for art class as a part of my core curriculum, which to me seems very odd and very strange. So I think this would be an actually wonderful piece. And as we talk about art and business, we're also going to introduce a young man from the Houston Museum of African American Culture, who we have this discussion often as artists who come through talking about representation, talking about how you get your art in the galleries, how do you get your art sold in the galleries, how do you have relationship with the clients and the consumers and the purchasers and things like that. So welcome, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Excellent. So if you can introduce yourself to everyone.
Hey, my name is Dominic Clay. I am the exhibitions manager and registrar at the Houston Museum of African American Culture.
Wonderful. So
And I'm an artist.
and an artist. So you've seen both sides of the coin, which I think is important. What do you think about that? Because the HMAC, as it's called, is an amazing institution. It's like a hidden gem, as the restaurant is too, as Manly said.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have these hidden gems in this big city that we drive past every day. Because if you drive down the wrong block, you miss it. Right? That's the tough part about Houston. So tell us a little bit about HMAC.
We have been in existence since the year 2000 when Mayor Lee Brown had a city initiative to improve African American museums within the city. He created us, the Houston Museum of African American Culture, and also the Gregory School African American Library, which is in Midtown, but it's historically Fourth Ward.
Oh yes, and that is an amazing museum for those who haven't been in it. There's this legacy that is, I love Houston because it evolves, but in other ways, unlike a sort of New England and older cities, it erases at the same time. It doesn't really keep these old structures. It doesn't.
Gentrification,
Yeah, but even with that, in every neighborhood, right? So the Heights has lost a lot of its culture. Germantown has lost a lot of its culture. There's so many cities, so many neighborhoods that have become just townhouses,
Yeah.
not really celebrating the legacy that was there. So it's nice that we still can build places
Yeah.
that can celebrate and not just be new. I like new too.
Yeah, I like new. I like
but-
new, but I like history too.
I think there has to be some place for fusion in between. So what exhibits do you have coming up, and what other things can people look to see this upcoming season at HMAC, and just art and culture in Houston in general?
Well, for us, we have right now. We just took down Africa on My Mind featuring Malik Sidibe and Leslie Wayne for July 14th. We're gonna have the magnificent Faith Ringo. A lot of people know her as being a visual artist and a textile artist, but she also paints, and she created a lot of children's books as well. One of those most notable books is Tar Beach, and most young African American girls growing up has heard or seen this book. And also we have an emerging artist gallery at the museum. The gallery is called the Burt Long Gallery, paying homage to the late and great Burt Long Jr. He is from Freeport. And we basically carry on his lineage and his drive to promote local and emerging artists in the city. The young man who will be showing inside of the space, his name is Romeo Robinson Clay, who is an awesome painter. And I always call him my cousin because his last name is
You're just gonna claim that.
Yeah, I claim that. Yeah, we get along really well too. He's one of my lost relatives. Yeah,
That's
but we
beautiful.
got a lot of things, and plus, we have I have a series for local and grassroots authors called the Get Lit Author Series.
Okay.
And it's
Get
just
Lit.
a play off of Get Literature.
Oh, I like that.
And
That's a good play.
just try to bring up the cognition of African American authors, because we got a deep lineage of
Yeah.
great authors within especially this last 100 years.
Yeah.
And, from Zionir Hurston to Paul Laurence Dunbar, incredible writers, and we got to bring out those people who are new.
Yeah.
You got a whole bunch of people, young people coming out with these books like
Isn't it
Issa
amazing?
Rae and people like that. And, we got to bring out the Houston talent too. Let them express themselves in whichever chosen way they decide to do so.
So what are the hours for HMAC? How can people find out more? How can they stay connected? How can they support?
You can support by coming. Just come. Bring your kids. Bring your babies, your boyfriends. It's a great date spot.
It is a great spot.
And we are open from Wednesday to Saturday from 11 to 6, and on Thursdays we're part of Museum Thursdays. Although a lot of people think that they only come on Thursdays because they think we're free, but we're free
all the time.
All the time. But just take your time. We have a lot of things going on. You asked me around town what a lot of things are going on. The Citywide African American Art Exhibition is going on now too. At Texas Southern University. You can go to University Museum. Over 73 artists who are showing. If you want to see what's going on in black art right now in the city, that is a great spot to get an oversight of who's who.
Okay, and it's contemporary artists.
Yes, all contemporary.
Okay, that's and how do you know how long that exhibit is?
I think it's until the end of July. I'm thinking.
Okay, so listeners, the thing is, go in the next week and a half.
Yes.
Don't push it. Don't wait to see when it's over. But I really do. HMAC, so it's HMAAC.org is the website that really talks about. You have a lot of amazing events. It's great energy anytime you come in. I think a lot of outsiders love the museum, and locals, again, we don't need to wait for tourists to tell us how amazing our restaurants, our museums,
Amen.
our legacy, our history. We have to own that, because everyone has come to love the city, and we have to do the same. I think it's a great place. It has great potential. It's evolving. It's growing. It's changing. And so HMAC, what we'd love for you to do is to be a regular.
I will. I will be. I already claimed it.
That's really
I
nice.
accidentally sent a text message and said my radio show. I'm already claimed that. I put that up in too.
Go ahead. But I think that's beautiful. I think we do need to find these places. We do need to find these gems. We do need to come in with a little change in hand to leave at the front door, and to really celebrate this extraordinary art. You can see it, you can view it, some of it you can purchase. I think it's important to be around it, and it's a part of the break that we need in our humanity. Right? So we're grinding, we're working, we're on the run, but we don't stop to celebrate the things that we've done. We don't stop to enjoy a beautiful museum that John Guest and you guys have all put together, Dominic, and knowledgeable about the artist, knowledgeable about the legacy, passionate, committed, caring. I think that's a beautiful thing. So we'll, if you could give the number for those do you know the HMAC number offhand?
It is, the number is 713-526-1015.
Okay.
Please call if you have any questions. Call and talk to me. Again, my name is Dominic Clay.
Thank you so very much. And as we talk about legacy, right, we talk about finding gems and restaurants and places and music and art and students finding connectivity, I would be remiss if I did not say hello to Mr. Elevation, who's in the room.
Peace, Stephanie. How are you?
Good. And we met through a phone call because you are building an amazing sort of experience for Houston. We've met a while ago.
Correct.
Yeah, I love what he's doing.
Right? You have to love
but
it.
Once I want to give HMAC some credit as far as leading the charge. When it comes to your filming policy, for the longest, you guys have allowed visitors to take pictures inside the museum.
Mm-hmm.
That's something a lot of museums don't do now.
Yeah.
but they are considering to do.
Social media is important.
Absolutely. Because these people are like your Johnny Appleseed, something that we
Yes.
talked about before.
Yes,
You know, the
indeed.
African American Museum, the one that cost $500 million back in D.C., they allow you to take pictures.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So-
Actually, just on that, I want to talk about that. Is that okay? You know,
Yes.
you know, I went to the museum and we was actually on tour, and I found those things out myself. John Franklin actually helped us actually tour the spot, and so if you guys have any idea or cognition to go, you should go. It's a free museum as well. Only thing you got to get is a pass.
Oh, well, that's an excellent sort of notion. I mean, those are the things that we have to keep up with. You can't run a city locally. You have to run a city with an awareness of what's happening in other cities, right? What are some of the best practices? So,
Yeah.
So, Stephanie, speaking of awareness, that's one of the reasons why I created Visit Black Houston.
Okay.
The only Pan-African business directory and event calendar in the entire city of Houston.
Wow.
And possibly even the state of Texas.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And we started back in 2014, and as an outreach or outgrowth of that, we created a magazine, an actual print publication back
Okay.
in December of 2016.
Okay.
And the reason being is because we're thinking about saturation.
Yes.
You know, I found time and time again, once people start talking about black empowerment on Facebook, a lot of
Yeah.
times, you know, we get censored. You know,
we do.
and in a sense, that's totally fair because that's a platform we don't control. So
Yeah.
we're not going to whine, we're not going to complain about it. We're going to be a solutionary
Yeah.
and then create something that's for us, by us. And that's what Visit Black Houston represents.
I think that's really important. For those who haven't picked it up, I have to admit, they are everywhere. They are, and they celebrate from Caribbean culture to African American culture to restaurants to, you have the food, what is it when you take the bus?
Yeah, so we do a Taste of Black Houston
Taste of
also.
Black Houston,
Absolutely.
yes,
See,
yes.
what we do with that is we actually put people on a luxury charter bus and we visit various black-owned restaurants around the city. And when we say black-owned, just to be point blank, we mean everybody, whether you're Afro-Latino, Caribbean, African-American, or African. It's not just isolated. It's
Or just African American in general.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that Houston's the most diverse city in the nation, and it's important to celebrate that. And I think if there's one thing I have profound respect is how committed you are to getting the word out, how financially committed for yourself. So for those who are looking and listening, not only support those people in the publication, but it's an amazing to take an ad out in it because you really are everywhere. You really make sure people get it in hand. You make sure that it's every restaurant. You speak to the people. You don't just drop it in a corner. You make sure the owners are aware of it so when people come in and they
Absolutely.
look for it. I think that is the way in which we can really build this foodie city into a culturally rich, culturally open, culturally fused. Not that everything becomes the same, but that you can celebrate the uniqueness of a diverse city.
And pardon me, Steph. One of the reasons why I focus on food so much is that our African American gross domestic product in the city of Houston is $13.2 billion. Our top 4 consumer expenditures are real estate, food, clothing, and cars and clothing.
Okay.
Right. And so we spend $1.88 billion a year on food alone.
Wow.
Right.
That's why that gym is important.
Right. So it's a no-brainer to go towards
Yeah.
food.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's an essential piece, and I want people to know. So the publication is free.
Very free.
So you're really committed to getting the word
Correct.
out, and they can find it online where.
So it's online on Issue. And see,
Okay.
and that's for everybody listening. That's http://ISSUU.com/visit Black Houston.
Very nice. So you can't go wrong if you type in Visit Black Houston because it'll come up
Correct.
and Issue at the same time. But I think, what do you have in store next? Where can people find you? Because I think bringing you in with some of the people who you feature in the publication would sort of help connect the dots as to what you do, what they serve. Because people don't try things. So now we're asking them to drive.
Right.
We're asking them to commit to something and then to understand a culture and a nationality and a flavor that they might not be used to. So it's really helpful. And we'd welcome the idea. You have Caribbean American Heritage Month
Correct.
on this current issue. So what does that mean for those who don't know is something that I'd love for us to talk to more in depth I'd love for you to come back to talk about that. I'd love you bring people with Caribbean American heritage
Anytime.
and what that's like, because we're all learning here, right?
Correct.
We're all growing here. We're going beyond the stereotype, the fake news of what we are as human beings and what we are as people, and alternate facts. And some people don't know what Caribbean American life is like. Some people don't know what African from Africa American life is like.
Correct.
That's all new, even as a person of the nationality. It doesn't mean you understand self, let alone understand other groups.
Also, I want to give a shout out to the Houston Caribbean Young Professionals.
Okay.
Last Friday, well, actually the last Friday every month, they always have a meeting, or like a get together. Last time it was at a place called Europa. Now they call it Story Lounge on Mercer Street. So a lot of Caribbean people get together. The Afro policies, they get together as well, and it was a wonderful experience. I have a few interviews I've done with some of the attendees, and we're going to post it on YouTube very soon. My YouTube page is Visit Black Houston, Texas.
Visit BlackHoustonTexas.com.
Correct. VisitBlackHouston.com is the website.
Okay.
The YouTube is just Visit Black Houston, Texas.
Okay,
Correct.
wonderful.
That's the channel.
Wonderful. Well, I am excited about that. I'm excited to see and to hear and to be a part of it. I don't think these discussions end today. I think they just begin. It's about being in relationship with KPFT's listeners, who have been our amazing supporters, and it's about them, as Buddy described and as you described and as I have learned from meeting both of you. I've been missing it, right? I've been in this city and I've been missing HMAC. I've been in this city and I've been missing it all. So we're going to say good afternoon to everyone. We have Kiri, and she's going to say have a good afternoon.
Have a good afternoon.
Thanks for being listeners. Thanks for being supporters. Thanks for allowing the youth to have a voice. Enjoy.
Thank you.